My work truck has a pretty bad exhaust leak, so I'm going to take some stuff off to fix this exhaust leak, which I think is just a blown gasket. Hopefully it's not a cracked manifold. So I've got a new Fel-Pro gasket. You can see this is just one big gasket, so it captures both intake and exhaust because this is a log style manifold. And we've got this little rectangular one that goes in the middle where those two manifolds sort of join together. So I've already got the carburetor off. That's just a matter of a couple of bolts here and there and all the vacuum lines. I'll plug in that vacuum disassembly here so you can, in case you lose track of what goes where. Let's just chart some vacuum lines real quick as we're taking this apart. First, we've got this wire. It normally has a piece of plastic covering it, but so there's that. Okay, we've got a green line here. Pull that boot off, and they're pretty well kind of shaped to where they go, so you probably won't mix them up, but just in case. So we got a check valve on this one. It goes to the back of the carburetor on that nipple. Okay, pull that one off. Now we've got a couple of lines routed into this one at the lower port off of the manifold there. Looks like a kind of a rust brown colored, and a T with another one. Okay. That one's going into the base of the carb. Off of there, so it's pulling vacuum from here and sort of from here, regulating itself. Okay, here we've got two yellow ones. Looks like the one on top is running up here, and the one on bottom is going back there. Okay. So let's get those off of there. And then we've got this green one here. Ooh. Yeah, I got some vacuum on there. Okay. So now our vacuum lines are off. We're gonna pull the throttle cable off and get ready to disconnect the carb. So at this point we've got our electric choke voltage, we've got a vacuum line, a little port, actually it's a heater, so you see it's going through the corner of the manifolds that shove some hot air up here. And we've got the same thing on this side for the choke. You see right down there, it just, that little bit of line just tucks into a hole in the manifold, and that's just to warm the air going through there. We've got some PCV stuff going on here. I'm gonna have to tug on that, that's pretty gross. And we've got vacuum running back to the transmission. That is a really spongy line. Feels like a balloon. This one is running to the brake booster. This one was going to the bottom of the air cleaner assembly. So yeah, now let's just pop off the throttle linkage. There we go. And once I get that off, I could go ahead and take the carburetor off because it separates just above here. There's the nut for it right there. Let's get a light where you can see it. So yeah, let's take the carb off, and then we can take this plate off, and then kind of see what we're doing. So at this point, what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull the hoses off of here, and I might get that bracket out of the way that's supporting the throttle cable, and the kick down for the transmission, and then we can get these 9/16 studs off of the manifold. Okay, so I've started getting most of the things out of the way. I just took that EGR pipe off of this intake assembly. So that was, I just used a couple of service wrenches, a 1 3/16 and a 1 3/8. The larger one is up top, and you'll knock that lower one, which is the nut, knock that loose. So now we can get, and be mindful if you're going to use a torch on that to heat it up. Just remember, you just pull the carburetor off and you might have gasoline here, so be mindful of that. But now that's off. Oof. And I think at this point I might go ahead and unscrew that just to clean everything when it goes back together piece by piece. See if we can get these bolts out of here and all those studs out and try to separate that manifold. Okay, I finally think I got all those bolts and studs out. So I gotta remember the EGR pipe is connected to the exhaust manifold, but I should be able to pull this thing out of here now and then set it on the bench or the floor to take it apart. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna need 2 hands though, because this is heavy. Okay, just yanked it out with 2 hands. It is heavy. Actually, my back was already kind of screwed up already. I may have just really messed up my back getting that sorry thing off of there. So we've got this has to come undone, that stud. And then these 2 bolts right here. See that bolt head and this bolt head? Those 3 bolts will allow the intake to come off of the exhaust. Then we'll clean that surface, put a new gasket in there, clean both these surfaces, just clean everything real good with a wire brush, and then prep it to stick back on the truck. Yeah, that definitely required the big impact to get those fasteners undone. Fortunately, they didn't break. I still have 2 bolts and a stud unbroken, but that gasket that goes between here was just gone, man. I mean, just dust. So that's definitely where my leak was. So this was totally required and will be worth it, because it should, since this thing runs like a sewing machine, it ought to sound like a sewing machine. So let me clean it and put it back together. Let's talk about this real quick before I put it back together. One, yes, I did break 2 bolts, these little guys, so I'm gonna have to tap those out and get fresh bolts to go in there. But number 2, you see this spring-loaded little trap door in there. Your exhaust is coming through here, so the reason that's there is when it's cold, it's in this position, so it's trying to push some hot exhaust air up into the bottom of the intake. So that's going to warm the intake air, and once this gets hot and this spring relaxes, it's going to fall into that position, and most of that air is going to travel on down the exhaust pipe. So it's really just on cold start, cold conditions, that's going to help warm the intake. Now I know you guys probably already know how to do this stuff, but to get these broken studs out of there, first you just take a punch and make kind of a center divot, pop it with a hammer, and then I've just got a bunch of drill bits here. I just drill that out until we can get a large enough bit to use a screw extractor. Maybe not this one, you know, this one's too big really to go down in there, but the next size smaller, and then maybe some heat, propane or something. You don't want to get cast iron super hot, so propane's, for me, typically is about the perfect temperature, and you know, maybe some penetrating lube or something. Let it soak in there, and they should come right out. And then we'll just chase the threads to get them prepped for new bolts. Okay, now we might have enough of a hole there to where I can grab it with a little extractor, just pop that down in there, and as I twist counterclockwise, it's actually going to bite harder into the center of that bolt. So let me get some penetrating lube in there, and we'll probably put the torch on it for a minute just to make sure it's nice and easy on the first try. So I've just got my propane on there. That tip of the light blue is going to be the hottest part of the flame. So let's just warm it up. Then we'll pop this extractor in there and see what happens. Alright, wish me luck. Nothing yet. That extractor is working its way, it's biting into that bolt, but just not really getting any movement off of it. I know you can't see, I've got my hands in the way. Trying to take advantage of the heat while it's still in there. But I think it's going to take more heat. And this is a kind of a weird spot to get a wrench on there. Okay, let me just keep working it. Yeah, that was an ordeal, but we're there now. So, I'm going to shake my metal shavings out of there before I put it back together. I had to drill some new holes in the exhaust manifold to get my bolts. These are still 3/8 by 16 bolts. They're 4 inches long. That stud was okay, so I didn't have to mess with that. But the holes that were in the exhaust manifold, I started drilling one, and then I stuck a 3/8 bit in there. When I was about halfway down, I realized, wait a sec, that's too big. So I had to go ahead and run to the parts store and get a thread insert kit, and then drill it out to a 25/64, which I only had one drill bit in that size, and I broke the darn thing. Fortunately, I was still able to get that to 25/64, and then tap it, put that thread insert, so now it holds that bolt. The other one, I didn't go quite that far. I went to a 3/8 and then just cleaned it out with a 3/8 by 16 thread chaser. So one bolt hole was okay, the other one has an insert. Now we're going to get that exhaust and intake gasket fitted. So you have to have that manifold assembly kind of put together but still loose, so you can jiggle stuff around a little bit to make sure that everything seats well on the cylinder head, and then just throw it all back together and tighten it up. Okay, and I just got it all put back together. That took quite a few hours, and I guess you can expect that when you've got an old vehicle with a lot of miles, a lot of years, broken, bolts and nuts and things like that, as you saw was the case here. I suppose maybe if you soaked everything in penetrating lube and went through a couple of drive cycles and soaked it and drove and just did that for a couple of weeks, it might help get some of those bolts prepped for disassembly. But let's see if it's any quieter now when we start it up. Now, that's not 100%. I can still hear a little bit of puffing somewhere, and maybe that donut at the pipe flange, but that's so much better. So I'm going to call that a win.